Poor Karen Hughes. One WikiLeaks State Department cable suggests the whole Bush administration win the hearts and minds of the Middle East program under the direction of Ms. Hughes was not so much unwise as it was unnecessary, because in our number one story, we already had the greatest weapons in the fight against jihad recruitment in Saudi Arabia. David Letterman, Al Franken, and the cast of Desperate Housewives. A May 2009 cable featuring a section titled David Letterman, Agent of Influence, describes Saudi citizens eager to learn about American culture. In it, two Saudi media executives tell a U.S. diplomat over coffee at a Saudi Starbucks that American programming, uncensored with Arabic subtitles, is winning over ordinary Saudis in a way that Al Hurra and other U.S. propaganda never could. Al Hurra, a TV channel created by the Bush administration to serve as counterweight to Al Jazeera. In the past, it hired executives who didn't speak Arabic languages and gave airtime to terrorists. Needless to say, it isn't as influential as Bush administration officials had hoped it would be. Instead, the two most popular channels among Saudis, one of which is partially owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp, play American shows complete with a 24-hour solid block of such programs as CBS and ABC Evening News, David Letterman, Desperate Housewives, Friends. One Saudi exec elaborated, it's still all about the war of ideas here. Wait, have you heard any of Joey's dialogue on Friends? War of ideas. The cable reveals that American movies also resonate with Saudi audiences. They like George Clooney's heroics in Michael Clayton, respect for the law in the Al Pacino movie Insomnia. They also really like an unnamed movie featuring a husband dealing with his alcoholic wife who smashes tableware. The one guess on that was a reference to the Meg Ryan pick, When a Man Loves a Woman, which was co-written by then not yet Senator Al Franken. But back to the man who scored his own headline here, David Letterman, on his diplomatic outreach to the Arab world.
The top 10 reasons now that the Saudi youth love me, Dave. Here we go, number 10. I, too, was a Saudi youth. Number 9. We're on right after the number one children's show, Saudi Duty. And number 7, oh, come on, who doesn't love a sneezing monkey? Roll the tape! Roll the tape! Make the monkey sneeze! There you go. And number 3, my memorable performance in Lawrence of Arabia as Tariq the date farmer. Number 2, my chain of local Saudi home decor stores, Bedouin Bath and Beyond.
Bedouin Bath and
Beyond. And the number 1 reason Saudi youth love me, Dave Letterman, the jokes are a lot funnier if you don't speak English.
Time now to call in comedian and screenwriter Maysoon Zayid. She is the executive producer of the New York Arab American Comedy Festival. Thanks for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So the Saudis love American TV. I'm guessing they haven't seen Sarah Palin's Alaska yet.
I'm guessing that they haven't, but I have seen it. And honestly, I don't think the Saudis are prepared for it, because even for the Saudis, it's way too violent. I saw it the other day. She shot something like a gummy bear, a caribou. I'm not sure what's going on, but it was close to Bambi.
He shot a gummy bear. To the shows that were singled out in the cable, Friends, Desperate Housewives, I would think that's not necessarily the best we would offer as a nation if we knew we were an influence here. Am I looking at it the wrong way? Is David Schwimmer like the Saudi version of David Hasselhoff or something? What's going on here?
Well, I feel like Desperate Housewives is actually the perfect show for the Saudi women to relate to American women. Because think about it, I mean, really, who's more desperate than a Saudi housewife? They can't even drive their own car. But then again, I wouldn't mind having a chauffeur, so maybe it's not as bad as we think.
Is there an ultimate American programming choice to showcase in Saudi Arabia?
Oprah. It's definitely Oprah.
All right, why?
It is, because I'm telling you, I've spent a lifetime in the Middle East, and Oprah is shown on a lot of the stations, and she's had a great effect on the women there, but it's about 10 years behind, so they're watching reruns, so it's at the perfect pace, and I feel like Saudi women need Oprah to, empower them and liberate them.
This channel, Rotana, also broadcast or rebroadcast some of the Fox News shows. Is there a way to explain Glenn Beck to the Arab world, or does he make more sense there than he does here?
I'd be happy to explain Glenn Beck to the Arab world when someone explains him to me, because how this man is making millions while I can't get a job as a dead body on Law & Order SVU is inexplicable to me.
Is there a great irony here that the cultural contributions from David Letterman, Al Franken, George Clooney have done more to help U.S.-Arab relations than a $500 million propaganda campaign from the Bush administration?
I think it's actually very telling. And, you know, as I mentioned before, like, my parents are Palestinian. I used to go back to my little village, Jedwan, every year. And I remember being young and watching Dallas. And, like, that has always had an effect on me, the fact that people could associate with everything that we were living here at that time. But now the fact that they're allowing it in Saudi is amazing. But also, I think what has had the greatest influence is the internet. Because the ability for the people over there to not just see everything over here, but also correspond with people, I think that's what's really made American pro-sentiment grow, because people are like, these guys are just like us. I mean, for example, like, I go with Arabs Gone Wild. We do stand-up comedy in the Middle East, in Qatar, in Egypt, in Ramallah, in Jordan, and we go with Gabriel Iglesias and Russell Peters. And the guys there love the American comics because they see them on YouTube and they can relate to them. And the female comics do great there too. So I think that, like, yeah, television was definitely the way to go, because that's what people relate to. And we laugh about it, but Desperate Housewives and stuff like that, it just lets them look at it and say, okay, we are all equal. But also it points back to, like, no one ever hated anyone for Britney Spears. They love Britney Spears. They download her.
That's the best way across the cultural divides. Britney Spears. Maysoon Zayid, the comedian and screenwriter, great thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me see the tree.
That's good. You get a good view from there.
Thank you.
That's December 9th, 37 days since Republicans took control of the House. Mr. Boehner, where are the jobs? I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck. And now with more on the White House's take on the reaction to the compromise, ladies and gentlemen, here is a doorbell. No, I'm sorry, it says, I'm sorry, that was just a typo. Here is Rachel Maddow. Good evening, Rachel.
Now you're going to, at some future date, have to tell everybody about the private joke.
Yep,
Some
I will.
other day.
Some other day when you're not around.
Thanks, Peaches.
You're welcome, doorbell.
Thanks to you at home for staying with us for the next hour, even though we've started by mystifying you.